record. Requests. I've been loading all of the frees on YouTube. So any of the ones that you want to repeat, or if you've missed one or whatever, they're all going to be loaded there. Plus there's some new ones there as well. So those can be either used whenever, or also obviously I had mentioned next week I am away. It is a week off / rest week for everybody before we start our block. So all of that good stuff, all the things to look forward to. Okay, so stretch mobility. If you did lower body yesterday, you're probably feeling some hips, some quads, all of those things. Maybe you're just needing a good stretch. All you need today, if you do like to prop yourself seated, pillow, yoga blocks, great place to be. If you can have either a small towel, your resistance band, or a yoga strap, we're going to be doing some hamstring stretches with that. Okay, make your way to a comfortable seated position. Elevated or not, you get to choose whatever feels good for you. We'll just start with our hands resting on those knees, sitting nice and tall, taking a moment, connecting with the breath, connecting with the body. End of day, beginning of day, wherever you are, just bringing yourself here. We'll just take some big inhales and exhales together. You can count as you breathe in. If you'd like, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5, and then try to make your exhale longer, okay? So we're just gonna do a couple of breaths there, like 20, 30 seconds. Just really focusing on the breath, feeling the expansion with the ribs, maybe into the back body as well. And then on your next breath in, slide those shoulders up towards your ears, so creating that tension. And then as you exhale, press them down and back. See if you can lengthen through the shoulders and neck. Do that 2 more times. Breath in. And then exhale down. 1 more time. Breath in, shoulders come up. Exhale, right ear towards right shoulder as you press those shoulders down. And then you're going to roll the chin down towards the chest, over to the left side, so left ear comes to left shoulder. You're still trying to think of shoulders down and back as you do this motion through the neck. So you're taking it from right to left super slow. My neck this week for some reason has been super tight. Not sure from what, maybe tension, stress, whatever, but doing this, thinking of shoulders pressing down is amazing. Make your way back to the right and then come back into neutral neck. Okay, so sitting back tall, center. Take your gaze and look over your right shoulder. Bring it back through center. Inhale. Exhale, look over to your left. And you are trying to get your full range of motion here. So you're not being aggressive with it, but you are trying to look over that right shoulder, back in through center, over to your left, and then back in through center. Take another breath in, draw the shoulders up, creating that tension. Exhale down, shoulders, left ear towards left shoulder. Oh, other side. Okay, feels super good. Pause there for a moment. We're going to come back into that little roll down and forward to the right side this time. Then back over to the left. Really drawing those shoulders down. So keep thinking of shoulders, scapulas, down and in. Holy moly. 1 more time over to the right. Still breathing nice and deep here, and then back over to the left. Okay, coming back into neutral. Take your gaze up on your inhale. We're almost done with the neck here. Exhale to drop the chin towards the chest. We're not doing cat and cows yet. We are going to integrate that. Just working on the neck so far here. Breath in to lift. Exhale to chin to chest. Now we're going to integrate cat and cow. So you can anchor those hands towards those knees a little bit more. Breath in. Pull the shoulders back. You're going to get the pelvis involved here as well. Looking up, and then as you exhale, anchor those hands to the knees, tuck your tail, round the shoulders forward, concave your chest, chin, and then chin drops to chest. Working with the breath here, breath in to come all the way up and through. Oh, so good. Exhale to round. Very needed this morning. Do that 1 more time. Big breath to pull it all forward and up. Good, and then exhale to tuck and round. Okay, 1 more motion in our seated. We're just gonna come into our Sufi rolls here. So that rotation, thinking of pelvis, thinking of low back, also anchoring those hands to the knees. Making that nice circular motion. You can go a little bit quicker here, or you could really enjoy it slowly, change your direction right now. Go the opposite way. Notice your pelvis though the most and the low back here. Just noticing how that's feeling and moving around for you today. All right, if you were seated on anything, come back to stillness. You can move those out of the way. We're gonna extend our legs out straight out in front. Okay, so nice extension through those legs. Shook myself back. I have my socks on today. It's freezing out. I walked Zoe this morning and I was like, oh. Okay, take a nice big breath in. Scoot those arms all the way up overhead. And then exhale, fold forward, fold over those legs. Okay, so feeling that through the back of the legs. Maybe it's grabbing a hold of ankles, toes, feet, shins, whatever feels good for you, coming into your forward fold. Maybe thinking of lengthening your spine here a little bit more versus rounding. Doesn't have to be a perfect straight spine, but you are aiming for that. Take one more big breath in right here. And then release that, come back up to seated, slide your right leg in with you here. Wrap those arms around that shin, pick up that leg, give a nice little hug here. Maybe there's a stretch there for you, maybe there isn't. That's okay, take one more breath, sit nice and tall. And then place that right foot over top of the left. Take your right hand in behind you, hook the left elbow towards that knee, coming into a nice seated twist here. Now we want to be active with the elbow and the knee, so they're actually pressing into one another. That's going to get into the adductor and abductors through your hip a little bit more. Your twist doesn't have to be massive. Maybe it is. Choosing where you feel good. Take one more big breath in right here. And then as you exhale, leave the legs as they are, just counter twist that, taking those hands over to your left. Oh, that feels good. Okay, come back through center. You're gonna keep working on this right side. So that right leg is gonna come into seated figure four. So the ankle is gonna be placed just above that left knee. So we're gonna do a couple little exercises before we come into a fold here. Take your right hand to the top of the inside of that right knee. We're gonna actively press down with our hand as we press up with that knee. You're gonna start to feel this through the hip. We're gonna press down and hold for 5. Your knee is driving up, 4. Sit tall, 3. Flex the toes, 2. And 1, release that. So you're just gonna release that pressure and then take a big breath in. Do it again, press and hold. You're trying to work on external rotation through that hip. And if you are tight like me from yesterday, you're feeling this for 3, for 2, ooh, and for 1, release. We have 1 more. Take a big breath in. Good. Press and hold for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Okay, leaving the leg where it is. Maybe you can take your hands towards the shin and ankle, or simply leave your hands there. We're going to work with our breath in a forward fold position. So breathing and moving at the same time. Breath in to come nice and tall. Exhale to bring chest forward towards that shin. Oh, inhale to come back up. Exhale to fold. 2 more, working on your own breath pace here. Inhale to come up. Exhale to fold. That should feel really good in that hip. You have 1 more and we're gonna hold this one. Breath in to come up. Exhale to fold. Taking those hands towards the shins if that feels okay. Maybe you can even reach the sole of the foot. You don't have to. You can stay on that knee and foot on the other side. Breathing here for 3. Thinking of flat back, chin towards chest, chin towards chest. Chest towards shin for 3. Words are going to be hard today. For 2. Okay, that's enough work for that right hip for right now. Undo that leg. Okay, we are getting into hips today. Take the heels nice and wide and then just give a nice little windshield wiper here to release that right side because that's intense. That's a lot of external rotation there. And then when you're ready, come back into your extended legs, sitting nice and tall. Take another big breath in, sweep the arms all the way up. And then exhale, forward fold over those legs. Again, choosing where it feels good for you. Toes, feet, shins, ankles, whatever feels good. Coming into that lovely forward fold, thinking of straighter neutral spine here if you can. Take 1 more big breath in. And then releasing that. Coming back to seated, slide the left leg in and then giving that nice little hug to that shin, picking off of that foot, maybe feeling that, maybe not, just taking 1 big breath in there. And then placing the left foot across to the right side. Left hand comes in behind you, right elbow hooks. Again, there's tension. The knee is driving to elbow, elbow is driving to knee. You're twisting to your left here. Taking a couple of inhales, you can think of lengthening your spine as you breathe in, maybe twisting a little bit more as you exhale, or stay as you are, whatever feels good for you, for 3. Big breath in and out for 2. And for 1. Counter twist that. Take the hands over to your right. And then coming back in through center. Left side in seated figure 4. So that left ankle is slightly above that right knee. Noticing the difference from side to side. Foot is in flexion. We're going to do our activation here, pressing down into the knee as the knee drives up. Take a big breath in. Exhale, push. 5. This side always gets me. 4. 3. Use your breath. 2. And 1. Release. Take a big inhale. Exhale, push. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Release. One more time. Big breath in. Release that. Push. And then exhale. Drive it back down. External rotation from the hip. Foot is in flexion for 3. For 2. And for 1. Okay. We come into that forward fold position with the breath. Take an inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, chest comes forward, flat back. Oh, inhale to come up. Exhale to fold. So if your hips are feeling tight, this is a great way to try to release some of that stiffness or tightness in through the hips. Inhaling to sit tall, exhaling to fold. Doing 1 more here, breath in to come up. Exhale to fold, and we hold. Option to reach for the shin, reach for the toes, if that feels good for you. Otherwise, just stay in that cradled position, flat back, breathing for 3, breathing for 2, and for 1. Okay, slowly releasing that. Take those heels nice and wide. Again, we'll take those knees from right to left. So we are going to work in our 90-90 coming up. So this is a perfect little setup to get into that. Dropping the knees from right to left. And I'm going to give a couple of options here for the 90-90. Okay, so the next time you're over to your right, we're going to come out of the hands. Now, if you need support with the hands as we do these transitions, please feel free to take the hands in behind you for that support, because this is tough for those hips. Okay, so check in with your legs, interlace those hands at your chest. Okay, we're going to think of a 1, 2, 3, 4 movement. 1 being the left knee first. It's going to open up. And then once you get to your furthest point, 2 is going to be your right knee to follow. You can kind of join in as I'm doing this. 3 is going to be the left knee hitting the floor as the right knee is still working its way through that motion and down. We're going extremely slow here, shifting from right to left. If you need the hands into support, right knee opens far first, then left. Then the first knee, which is right knee first this time, touches the floor and the left knee follows. Holy moly, if you are doing this as wide as you can, which is the goal here, so we're trying to keep the knees far apart, take your time here. Again, hands can be behind you to support as you rotate left and right. This is not easy, or maybe it is for you. Maybe you have great hips. I do not, mine are always tight. Okay, we're gonna make our way back to our right. So wherever you are, returning back to your right leg being your front leg, and we're gonna hang out there for a moment. We're gonna give a nice little release here. Okay, so right shin is forward, shoulders are gonna be trying to be parallel to that shin. You can take your fingertips forward so that you are framing that right foot. Take a nice big breath in here, lengthen, and then exhale, fold over that shin. You're gonna start to feel this through that glute and hip again. Breath in to come high. Exhale to fold. 2 more times here, breath in to come up. Driving that shin and knee into the floor, exhale to fold. 1 more time. Breath in, lengthen. Exhale, fold, and hold. Now, maybe you want to take your hands further forward. This is similar to a modified pigeon. Maybe you want to take your hands further out so you can come lower, choosing something that feels good for you, but make sure you're driving the knee and shin down for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Walk yourself back up. Take your right forearm in behind you. Take a nice big sweep of that left arm, keeping your legs as they are. Exhale, reach under towards right ribs. Inhale to open up chest and shoulder. Also feels so good. Exhale, wrap and reach. Most mobility does, but there is some hard work behind it as well. Breath in, open chest and shoulder. Exhale, wrap and reach. We're going to do one more on this side. Breath in to come on up. Really giving a little rest for those hips. Exhale, wrap and reach. Good. Make your way back up. Okay, we have more work to do. So we're still in our 90-90. We still have to do the left side. We're coming back to the 1, 2, 3, 4 thought process as we open. Hands can support or interlace them in front. So the first knee lifts, left knee, as wide as it can, followed by the right knee. Left knee is coming down as the right knee stays wide, and then 4 is that right knee coming in. Okay, do that a couple more times. Going slow, trying to open up those hips. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. All of that hard work. So thinking the 1, 2, 3, 4. The next time you're over to your left side, we're gonna hang out there and then repeat that same flow movement with the breath as we fold over. That is intense, team. That is intense. Okay, so make your way to your left side wherever you are. Taking those fingers, tenting them nice and wide to the knee and the foot. Take a nice big breath in, lengthen here. Driving that left knee down towards the floor. Exhale, fold. Trying to think of a long spine as you breathe in. Exhale, fold. Good. Do that 2 more times. Big breath in, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Maybe noticing that your fold is getting deeper. Maybe it's not. That's fine as well. Last one. Breath in to come up. Exhale, fold, and hold. Again, if you want to transition your hands to be further forward, maybe it's over to a side. Maybe coming over to the right side feels good. Pressing into that left hip. It does feel good, so you can give that a try if you'd like. Breathing there for 3. For 2. And for 1. Okay, come on up out of that. Make your way back to your left forearm behind you. Take a nice big sweep of that right arm. Open chest and shoulder here. Big inhale, exhale. Right hand reaches towards left side ribs, rotating down. Do that 3 more times. Breath in, open it up. You are getting to your end ranges, not with a crazy amount of force here. We're just thinking of where that body feels good to move to, both end ranges as you open and as you exhale to wrap and reach. One more time. Last one. Big breath in. Exhale, wrap and reach. Okay, that was a lot of hip work. Come on up out of that. We're gonna make our way into tabletop next, please. So coming onto those hands, onto those knees. Gotta make an adjustment into the leggings here. Okay, hands and knees. You can tuck or untuck the toes, whatever is your preference. We're just gonna do a little bit, 30 seconds of free play in your table. So maybe that's giving some rotations. Maybe that's dropping rib towards hip. Maybe that's coming over the wrists. Whatever feels good for you, just kind of playing around, noticing what everything is feeling like in this shape for you. Oh, all of the feels, all of the feels. Okay, from there, we're gonna come back into our tabletop when you are ready. We're gonna come into lateral cat and cow. So that's circular motion. So you can come over to the left, round through the spine, come back over to the right. So you're kind of doing that circular cat and cow motion here. Just getting into that spine, into the hips. Give yourself 1 more in this direction, and then change it to the other direction. Go the opposite way. So I led with my left, now I'm leading with my right. Counterclockwise, clockwise, however you want to think of it. Good. Give yourself 1 more. And then we'll take a little second out of tabletop. You can sit back onto your heels if that's comfortable for you, or you can come into kneeling, or you can come to sitting. We're just gonna get into the wrists for a moment here. A nice little opener for the wrists. We did some of this into our traps last week. Flexion to extension with a little release, physical release by you. So you're gonna take your wrist into flexion. You're gonna take your other hand so that your thumb is at the crease of that wrist. You're gonna press down with your thumb as you move those fingers away from you into extension. I'm gonna come a little bit closer for you guys to see. So I'm taking my thumb to my wrist, flexion, pulling my thumb downwards as my hand comes into extension. You should feel some good release there. Yeah, are we feeling that? Okay, good. Flexion. You can also move that thumb around. Maybe there's other spots throughout that wrist. Keep moving there. This is awesome because when we do a lot of our plank work, We're putting a lot of pressure into that flexion. We're going to do one more time for this side, pulling that thumb down as you push those fingers into extension. Switch to the other side. Oh, that feels so good. It's a lot of release there. Anyone who has wrist issues, carpal tunnel, etc. I'm gonna have to take my watch off for a second there, slide that out of the way. Okay, flexion, release, extension. Driving your left fingers away. Right thumb is sliding downwards as you pull. We're just doing this about 4 or 5 times. Gives a little nice release through that wrist. This is like an active release on ourselves. Last week I mentioned it makes you feel very aware if you need a massage. Okay, let's do one more here for this side. Pull it into flexion. Thumb pulls down as you press those fingers away. Oh, so good. Okay, give a little circle there. Notice how that feels, if there's any difference for you. You can always apply that anytime through your day. Always feels so good. Okay, we are going to make our way into lizard from here. Sorry, I'm just going to redo this. Taking right, let's go left side, actually, left side forward first. So we are back onto those hands. Left foot is going to take a nice big step forward. Tuck those right toes, lift up that back right knee. So you're coming into that nice, deep, low lunge here. Couple of things we want to be aware of in lizard. Okay, left toes, maybe a slight turnout. Left knee, definitely, we don't want it touching our body. We want to think of opening up that hip as much as possible as we get that hip flexor stretch on the right side. Now for my open hip people, maybe you can come down to forearms. Maybe you have yoga blocks, you can prop yourself up on that. Maybe it's just staying on those hands. We are breathing here. We are going to add some movement in a moment, but I want you to just take a moment just to figure out how those hips are feeling right now. Taking 2 more cycles of breath. Big inhale. Big exhale. All right, we're going to start with shifting our weight into the left hand. Right arm is going to reach forward, over to the left. Big breath in. Open that right arm back towards the right leg. Okay, keep driving the left knee away from the body. Inhale, circle that arm forward. You're trying to reach for something far, far away from you. And big breath in, open it up, giving that nice little rotation back towards the right foot or leg. Breath in one more time, reach it forward. Exhale to take it back. Now, my super bendy people, maybe you want to try to reach back for that right foot. You do not have to. Just keep reaching that right leg. Left knee is driving away. Keep reaching back for 3, for 2, and for 1. Right hand joins back to the left. Shift your weight now into your left hand. Flex your left toes off of the mat. Roll to the outside edge of that foot. Left hand comes to the inside of that knee. Rotating and reaching the other way. So just a gentle twist to hold here. Maybe that's too intense for you. Maybe you're still on your hands. No problem. Breathing here for 3. We're almost on the side. For 2. And for 1. Okay, roll back to the flat, the sole of the left foot. Left hand comes down. Take your left foot back. Left knee back, sorry, to meet the right. Come into a nice narrow child's pose to counter stretch that hip opener. So you're now in hip flexion. We were really deep into an extension, opening up those hips. We'll change it up to the other side. Big step forward with your right foot. Oh! Lift up your back knee, untuck those left toes when you are ready. We're just starting in that static hold in your lizard. So we're not moving here. We're just focusing on the breath, breathing into the hips and low back. Remember, a slight turn out of those right toes, and that right knee shouldn't be against the body. We really want to try to focus opening it outwards as the foot stays flat. Breathing into those hips, all the good feels. Again, you can be down on those forearms or on yoga blocks here, taking 2 more cycles of breath. Breathing into those hips. Good, okay. From here, we shift the weight over towards that right hand. Left arm reaches forward and over to the right. You're trying to grab something. And then inhale, open up chest, shoulder, reaching back towards left leg. Okay, inhale that arm back forward and up. Inhale, open it up and back. One more time. Reach it forward and up. Oh, keep driving that right knee away if you can. Inhale, reach back. We're going to hold this option to bend in that left leg. Reach it back to that left foot. If you are super bendy, I am not. Breathing here for 3. For 2, open that chest and shoulder left side. And for 1, left hand joins the right. We shift the weight over to the left hand, flex the right toes up, roll to the outside edge, taking the right hand now to the inside of that knee, giving yourself a nice little gentle twist over to the right. Seeing if you're hanging on to tension. Like I just noticed myself, I wasn't fully in my stretch because I was hanging on. See if you can breathe and let go a little bit more into those hips. Maybe you are already there. Take 1 more breath. Good, and then slowly lowering back to the sole of the right foot, right hand comes down, right knee is going to join the left 1 more time in that narrow child's pose, taking hips back towards heel, walking those hands far forward. All the grunts and groans from me today. Okay, from there, you wanna grab a sip of water, we're gonna make our way onto our backs. This is where you're gonna need your strap, band, towel, something. I am gonna grab a sip of water. Once you've made your way to your back, hug your knees into the chest, give yourself a nice little rock from right to left. Oh, that water was needed. Okay, and just noticing how the low back is feeling as you are down on that mat. Maybe it's feeling really good today. Maybe there's some tension. All is good. Okay, from here, we're gonna lower the left foot down, grab your strap or your prop, hook it around the sole of your right foot. Okay, sole of the right foot. Press that heel up and flex through those toes. So we're gonna hang out here for a moment, just breathing into the back of the hamstring here. Also option, you can extend that left leg out nice and long. We will all be transitioning to that eventually, but if your right hamstring is quite tight, starting with that left leg bent is helpful. And from here, we're gonna add in that flexion and extension through the toe. So you're pulling in a flexion at the moment for the ankle, and then exhale, point the toe. You're still giving resistance to the hamstring stretch as you point and flex those toes, making sure there's a soft little bend in the knee as well. All the good feels here. Breathing in on the flexion, exhale to extension. 1 more time, breath in, that feels so good. Exhale to extension, good. Okay, keeping that band in both hands or your prop in both hands, return your toes back to flexion. So pulling them into the base. We're just gonna do a little flossing in the hips. So you're gonna take your foot like a foot over, few inches over to the right, and I shouldn't use the foot over to the foot, okay. A few inches over to the right, a few inches over to the left. So you're just doing a little flossing action into the hip. So that's coming in and across and then opening out and away. Just making it a smaller motion than we usually do. We are gonna open all the way and hold, but we're just preparing the hip here, keeping those toes pulling in for 3, rocking it from right to left for 2, and for 1. Okay, taking your prop in your right hand, keep the foot in flexion, take your left hand towards your left hip bone, option to extend that left leg out right here, and then we're gonna open that right leg out towards the right side. Again, keeping the foot in flexion. The left hand is on the left hip bone. We're trying not to lift it. So if you find that you've completely lifted the low back and that left hip away from the floor, you've probably gone a little bit too far. Don't have to go far to feel this stretch. Taking 2 more cycles of breath wherever you are. Oh, that feels so good. 1 more breath in. And then pulling that leg back in through center, exchanging your prop to the left hand now. Your right arm is going to come out to a nice T beside you. The right leg is going to drop over to the left. Now, make sure you keep pulling your toes up and in. If your calves are tight, or IT band, or hip, or low back, this one's a great one here. Try to pull your leg up towards yourself versus letting it fall down towards the lower body half. We want to try to stay in line with the hip or slightly above. Oof, I'm not very high here. That is very intense for me. Taking 2 more cycles of breath. Big breath in and big breath out. Wow, okay. Inhale it back in through center when you are ready. Okay, we're gonna exchange our feet here. So switch it out, left leg is gonna slide in as that right leg comes out. And your right leg should feel brand new as it comes out. It's like, okay, all of the circulation is being released, lots of things going on there. Taking that strap now around the sole of the left foot, we just hold for a moment, option to keep the right leg bent. but please flex in those toes. Maybe you can add a little bit more tension to pull that leg in, taking one more big breath. And out. Do another breath in, and then as you exhale, we're going to come back into that flexion and an extension. So pointing the toes away on the exhale, inhale, pull the toes in. Oh, getting into the back of that leg. Oh, that feels so good. In through the ankle, you are getting your largest range of motion here. So that's the thing with mobility when we're moving, is we want to think of end ranges in two different directions. Breath in to pull the toes. Exhale to point. One more time, breath in, pull the toes in. Exhale to point. Okay, returning to your flexion, we come to that little floss action of opening, just rocking that leg from right to left, a few inches over each side. And again, you can notice if your right leg is bent or extended, you can choose while we are still here. We're all going to come into extension in a moment. Keep flossing from right to left. Notice if you can pull your toes in a little bit more. Maybe you can add more tension onto your band. Okay, come into stillness. Exchange your prop into your left hand only. Right hand towards right hip. Extend that leg out if it feels okay, and then open that left leg towards the left. Again, shoulders are rooted, pelvis is rooted, low back is rooted. Pulling those toes in though, the foot stays in flexion. Breathing here for 3. For 2. So good. And for 1, pulling that leg back in through center, exchanging into the right hand now. That right arm is holding your prop. Your left arm comes to your T-palm down. Pulling the leg towards the body as it makes its way over to the right. Noticing a difference here. My left side is always tighter, and it's a big difference for me. Make sure the toes are pulling in. Your left hip is lifting off of the mat. That is fine. Your shoulders are rooted. Breathing here for 3. For 2. So good. For 1. Pulling that leg back up and through. Releasing that prop off to the side. Bend both legs. Plant your feet nice and wide. We're going to give a little windshield wiper here. So dropping the knees from right to left. So good. Okay. And then the next time they're over to your right, the knees are falling over to your right, we're just going to hang out here and hold. Maybe this is intense enough for you. Maybe you feel good here. We're just going to hang out. Option to take the right foot on top of the outside of the left upper leg, just to give a bit of a more intense stretch through that side body, through the hip. Option to do that or option to not. I'm going to choose not. I feel good here. Breathing for 3. For 2. And for 1, switching those legs right to left a couple times, and then we'll hold it over to the left. We're almost there. Hold it over to the left when you're ready. Dropping the knees over. Option to take the left foot on top of the right, outside of the above the right knee. It's good. Option to do either or. Just breathing into that right side here. Amazing job. Okay, let's hug those knees back in towards the chest when you are ready. We're going to rock ourselves along that spine to come all the way up to seated. Give yourself a couple of rocks if that feels good. A nice little spine massage. We're going to extend those legs out one more time. Give ourselves one last forward fold to finish our practice this morning. Take a breath in. Sweep those arms up. Oh, sit nice and tall and then exhale, forward fold. Maybe you're going to notice that those hips, those hamstrings, everything's maybe released a little bit for you. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe you have some more work to do. Just enjoy your forward fold wherever you are, grabbing a hold of whatever feels good for you. Taking 2 more cycles of breath here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and release. Amazing job. Oh, that felt so good. So good, so needed. I know that my legs definitely, I think it was like just before dinner time, I was like, woo, had some fun little feels there from yesterday. Amazing job, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a wonderful rest of your day, your evening, wherever you are. What's today? Wednesday. Tomorrow we have full body, 8 a.m. So lots of fun coming up for that. Hope to see you then. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Bye.